we go to Corvallis this week to play against an Oregon State team that is getting better and improving. They didn't probably play their best last week against Colorado, but you could see on film, the improvement they made early in the season. Definitely against Minnesota when they went up there to open the year, and then when they hosted Boise back at home as well. So they're an improving football team. They're going to be hungry. We're going to need to have a great week of preparation and go and play our best. It's hard to win road games in this league. Corvallis is one of the toughest places to play. You go and you look at history, it's a hard place to win historically. So we're going to need to really have a good week of practice and go play well Saturday night.
Okay, questions?
Hey, Sonny, can you take us back to the final defensive possession against Utah, and what was going through your mind on the sidelines when you were deciding whether to call timeouts or not? I understand you might have had a conversation with Art at that point, and is any of that premeditated or?
Yeah. What happens is the way a lot of those decisions get made is you make them during the course of the week. For example, you watch practice every day. You look at their offense or their defense. You watch how your guys perform in certain situations. And then, you get a game plan for the game going into the ball game, whether it's, going for two early in the game or waiting till the end of the game to go for two, whether it's deciding to go for it more on fourth downs or to kick field goals, whether it's holding on to a lead at the end of the game. Do you want to, and you have third down and they've got a timeout and you can't burn the clock all the way down. Do you want to throw it or do you want to run it? All those are scenarios that you have to go through as a head coach, and you have to have a plan for those scenarios. And one of them is, the opposing team's got the ball, and you have a lead, and do you decide to call a timeout? And a lot of that, the decision is usually made as you enter the game. The conventional wisdom tells you to use your timeouts. That's what you're supposed to do. Certainly what I thought about doing at the time. And the more I talked to Art, we were obviously talking through the drive, and it got inside of 2 minutes, and I was about to use a timeout, and we just both decided that we thought we could put a little pressure on Utah because they're an offense that likes to be methodical and likes to slow it down a little bit, and so we felt like that if they had to rush, that could potentially go to our advantage. We also felt like that, where the ball was from a field position standpoint, that even if they scored a touchdown, it might be early enough where, we still had an opportunity to get the ball back with enough time. For example, they were 4th and 12 with over 30 seconds. So at that point, if they score a touchdown, kick an extra point, we're a field goal away with 2 timeouts, and 30 seconds is a long time with 2 timeouts. So all those scenarios were going on, and we were having conversations with it all and through it all. And at the same time, what you try to do is, you look at your team and you look at the way the game has been played. You look at your team's body language. You look at how much success, whether they've had success or haven't had success. All those things go into factoring into making a decision, and then you kind of go with your instinct, and that's what we did, and we decided to let it play out the way it did, and we were fortunate it worked out in our favor.
Is any of it in your mind what this can mean to your team if it's successful, if you put it on the defense, which has not had a lot of success all year, and then they come through for you, what that can mean for their confidence and your whole team? How much does that play into it?
Yeah, no, it does a little bit. I mean, it's like anything else. In this business, you don't really look too long term. You're trying to win today. Actually, you're trying to win yesterday, and so you don't. It's a little bit tough to make those decisions just because you're trying to win a ball game. But at the same time, you got to show your players that you trust them, and I think that's that's critical. As a coach, you've got to say, hey, look, I believe in you guys, and I have enough confidence in you that I'm going to let it happen. And that's the conversation that took place. We just said, hey, look, here's how we're going to do it, guys. Go make a play, and let's figure out how to win this thing.
Sonny, to set up that final drive for Utah, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Patrick Worstel. Did you get any explanation on that?
I still don't really know what happened. I thought it was a block in the back. They picked the block in the back foul up and got an unsportsmanlike conduct. And at the time, that's why I was trying to find out what it was on, who did it, what happened. And I still, never really got a very good explanation.
How would you describe Oregon State's quarterback? I know they've gone to 2 in the last couple of games, but they're going back with Garrettson this time. What kind of quarterback is he?
Yeah, I think the big thing with him is he's improving. I think that's what you look at is that's what's important for playing that position is a consistent level of play, and that's you can see him getting better. I think that's the thing that you look at is you watch their tape. You can see him getting better as a football team, and you can see him getting better as a player. And he's a guy that can execute their offense. I think that's why they're putting it in his hands because he can do what they want to do.
Is he a kind of a drop back? Is he mobile? Can he throw long?
Yeah, he can. He can do what they want him to do. He's a mobile guy that they feel like can make the throws. I'm sure, and he's accurate. I think that's the thing when you look at him. The ball comes out on time and it's in the right spot.
Containing their big receiver / running back. What do you guys have to do to? And he's also their primary kick returner.
Yeah. They've got a big, strong running back. They've got a really fast wide receiver, and then they have a big wide receiver. And I when you look at the two receivers, those guys compare to, very favorably to anybody in this league. Villeman's a big, strong guy that can make contested plays. That's done it for years. That is a physical guy. You can have 2 or 3 people covering him. He can come down with the ball. And then Bolden's a guy that can, run away from people and make plays in space. And as you said, he's a great kick and punt returner. He can influence the game a lot of different ways. They can get him on the perimeter, and he can make people miss, and is physical enough to finish runs as well. And then the running back's a big, powerful guy. And so they've got good skill players. There's no doubt about it. And as I said, I think they're starting to come together offensively and execute at a higher level. And we're going to need to play well and not give up big plays. The thing that you worry about with those guys is you can have people in position, and those are good enough players where they can still make plays on the ball, even if you've got 2 or 3 people there to get them down.
You mentioned their skill guys are pretty good, but is this a game where, they're just building their program from the bottom up a little bit, and you went through that a couple of years ago? Is this a game, do you feel like, where your offensive and defensive lines need to set a tone for this game?
Well, we want to do that every week. I think that's we played against a really good defensive and offensive front last week in Utah. I thought that was the strength of their team. I came out of the game feeling the same way. Thought they were really good up front, both sides of the ball. For us to get where we want to go as a program, we've got to be able to win the line of scrimmage. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. That needs to be something that we do every week.
And can you give us an update on Calfani, Allensworth, and what's up with Rambo and Beckett?
Yep. Rambo's done for the year, got an ACL injury. Beckett, we're still kind of getting him all figured out. Calfani should play, and Allensworth should play.
Beckett's a knee.
Yeah.
Sonny, adapting to a new team and a new environment can't be that easy. And can you talk about how well Davis Webb has made that adjustment, and also, what he's meant to this team and what he's done so far for his draft prospects?
Yeah, I think as you said, I mean, it's kind of starting over for him. I don't know how many times in his life he had been to California before he got here, and so I think everything was new for him. He's a Texas kid that went to college in Texas, was used to his teammates at Texas Tech, was used to their way of doing things. Was used to a different lifestyle than he has here. And so, for him to be able to come in the door one day and to get acclimated and get settled as quickly as he has, I think really just shows you how mature he is. Because he just handled everything in stride, and all he did is show up and won a chance, and he got a chance, and, he won the starting quarterback job, and, has played well since then. But that's a hard transition for people, especially, when you're 21 years old. It's really tough. And so, he's handled it about as well as you can handle it. And, he's playing well for us. I mean, his work ethic is what makes him different. It sets him apart from other people. He's just a highly competitive person. Wants to be the guy. In other words, what I mean by that is, when the game's on the line, he wants the ball in his hands. He wants to make the tough decisions. There's enough to him where if it doesn't work, he doesn't have any problem facing the music. And again, to have that sensibility when you're 20, 21, 22 years old, I think is pretty unique. As far as draft prospects go, I mean, I think the more people see him, the more they're going to like him. I think they're going to like the film, and I think they're going to even like, the maturity and work ethic and leadership even better. And I think that he's one of those guys that, as he has an opportunity to move in the NFL, can transition pretty quickly.